We are up close and personal today because I'm going to be doing a little get ready with me for my first day of school, which is online school, which I've already been doing for a full session, and a session is 11 weeks, so this technically isn't a first day, but we're going to pretend for YouTube purposes. I'm going to link the products down below and everything, but I'm just going to show you what I'm doing, and then I will explain my purpose and then also talk about what it's like doing online school, because I've taken online classes for my undergraduate degree, which now I'm in graduate school. Crazy. I already got my BA in psychology with an emphasis in criminal behavior and law, which was the coolest thing ever, the best experiences I ever had. I don't know why I prime my face if I'm just going to be sitting in my bedroom literally exactly like this on my computer for 2 hours. My face isn't symmetrical, and so like one side of my jaw curves in. And my teeth aren't symmetrical. Nothing really is on my face, so I do my best to make my face look symmetrical because I want to. There are some times where I don't even wear a speck of makeup, but I have little acne marks. You probably can't tell because the lighting right here, I'm using my little, this mirror that has a kind of like a ring light, I guess you could say. And so that's probably why I look so washed out, even though I truly am this pale. Aren't these hairs so strange? I would like get them waxed, but I think they're kind of cute and I don't really care. Hairy women rule. I'm pretty darn hairy, so like my arm hair is blonde, but I am a hairy beast, which I'm sure people are like, that's freaking disgusting, you shouldn't share that. Or I have my regular fetish people who message me all the time to send them pictures of tater tots between my toes, and if you think I'm lying, I could do a story time all about the weird comments that I receive. I always start out with my eyebrows because that is what shames my face, shapes my face, and I need that. At least my eyebrows for my online class. Online school, I think, is something very, very particular for a certain type of person. It takes a different type of discipline, and I'm not saying it's any better or worse than regular school. I did that for 4 years, but I was kind of, everyone I talked to was like, you totally can do this, you'll be just fine, and I didn't know what to expect, but so far I'm loving it, and I really like it because of the way the coursework is set up is very just straightforward. You see your progress as you complete it, and you can always work ahead if you want to, and that's really useful because for me, I am not someone who likes to do homework. Well, okay, I like to do homework because that makes me feel like I'm a decent school person. I went to school for 4 years and I'm calling myself a school person. Makes me feel like a decent college student when I do my homework, but I'm someone who doesn't like to read unless it's like under 15 pages for an assignment. But since grad school started, I definitely had to realize that I have to do my reading, or else I will look like a fool. And these people, a lot of the people in my class are, oh, let me put in my earrings. These are so cute from Forever 21. I never wear dangly earrings, but this is just going to make me look a little bit more alive and put together, even though most of the time I am not when I start class. It's been fun. It takes a lot of patience. Like I was saying, there's a lot of people who have full-time jobs and haven't gone to school in 10 years who are doing this program. And then there's little old me. I am the youngest in all of my classes, so that's an experience. I feel like sometimes in school, whether it's like due to your education or your age or whatever it may be, you may feel less competent than others, but I've just shared my opinion and everybody's been really, really nice and supportive, and we've had to do group projects so far, and that's also been really cool. But there are some strange people. There's one lady, she's really sweet, so kind, but she films in her bathroom, and the problem is I've seen people walk into it and then you hear a certain sound, and then luckily she mutes it so it gets cut off, but you're in the bathroom, there's this loud whoosh sound. Like, I know you gotta do what you gotta do, but our screens, like, we can mute ourselves and we can pause our screen so it's just frozen on whatever you were just doing. So most of the time when I freeze my screen, I'll just do a little Like, I'm not doing anything suspicious, I'll be right back, but like, please pause your screen so we can't hear the flushing of the toilet. But it's really cool to see where everybody is from. The program that I'm in, oh my goodness, right now is for an MFT, which is not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in the other part of it, which it's an MFT or LPCC, so Licensed Professional Clinical Counselor, and that is what I'm more interested in, so I can have a larger range of ways that I can apply it. I'm really interested in forensics, as you can tell with my undergraduate emphasis was criminal behavior and law. Oh my gosh, my eyebrows are so wonky. These take the longest out of my entire routine because I keep fiddling with them. I've visited jails, juvenile detention centers, let's see what else. Courthouses for projects, interviewed police officers and jail wardens, I guess you call them. It's been truly an amazing experience, and interacting with individuals who are just kind of like, hey, what's your charge? And it's like, I murdered my neighbor. But then you talk to them and see their past, and I think that's what's really important. Putting on some under eye concealer for some brightness. Ooh, gotta sneeze. For me, what I've realized to help me stay motivated, because I can get burnout pretty quick, I'm more of a hands-on person versus lectures and enjoying that stuff. I really like I said, going to the jails, and I interviewed inmates, which was so surreal because, and I'm sure there's people out there who have been through even better experiences than I have for their classes, but I got to, just like in the movies, or just like if you have somebody you know that's in jail or prison, whether it's a friend or for a project, you have to go pick up that phone and you just have a piece of glass between you. And people always think that these are crazy people who should be ostracized from the community and shouldn't receive job opportunities. And the people that I talked to did have pretty severe sentences, but it's so interesting to hear their view of the prison system and law enforcement and how their interaction is with them and government and how their sentence came to be and if they think it's fair. Obviously, some people can be pretty manipulative. That's where you have to be smart. And criminals, and there's so many people out there in general, not just criminals, but criminals are so smart. One of my professors, actually multiple professors, said this, that there are so many people out there that have been murdered that their case will never be solved because of how smart their killer is. There are so many that I've done projects on, so many murder mysteries or crimes, because these people, these criminals, are con artists. I don't mean incredible, like, they're amazing. I am intrigued and I think they are amazing people, but I'm not saying it as in I'm saying that they're good, because what they've done obviously isn't good, but there are so many people out there who've done things and they're so smart and they've covered their tracks. Or there's some people who would have never been figured out by law enforcement if they didn't want to be figured out by law enforcement. Like, there's so many cases where the individual toyed with law enforcement. And that's wild. Can you believe that? Like, law enforcement gets little tips from these people saying like, hey, go check here, and law enforcement's just taken up on the lead. They know someone was murdered in their town or whatever it may be. They go to this place and they find clues or little trinkets or little symbols, like the Zodiac Killer left signs, and John Wayne Gacy, he wrote notes. He kept sort of like a diary. He had an outfit. He had a person he had created, and to get close to these young boys. And so there's so many people who are so smart because, like John Wayne Gacy, he thought, what's a way that I can get close to these young people, like the young boys that he attacked? How can I get close to them without it being so obvious? During that time, and I'm sure even today, even though that'd be alarming, is parents would hire little characters to come, clowns and all that. And I'm sure that's why people are terrified of clowns, is because people like John Wayne Gacy, who would kill people, especially children, because that's what his fascination and I guess fetish was torturing and all that of young boys. That's why he buried them in his yard. And I think it was under his house, he had tons of young boys, and he would dress up as a clown because he knew parents would trust him to entertain the children. And so he could get close and kind of prey upon them, which is disgusting, but it was smart. Or there was, I think it might have been John Wayne Gacy or someone else who would dress up as some sort of like service member. I don't know, service member, that's the wrong use of the word. Like a plumber or something like that, and they would get close to people that way. There's so many different people out there and so many different crimes, and I'm fascinated by it, of course, clearly. And especially if I were to dedicate a whole, because like I said, I could have gotten out a semester early out of school, but I stayed in so I could be in classes talking about different types of crime, whether it's like fraud or embezzlement or false imprisonment, but I was more interested in the mind of serial killers and criminals, which is exactly why I was a psychology major, so I could kind of think why, how, what's the reason of these people committing these crimes. And I have watched a lot of crime shows and I love it. My program right now, my online classes, it's a master's for, like I said, a licensed counselor, but I wanted to do that route because I could do a private practice, or I could talk to criminals in the jails that I toured or the juvenile detention centers, because I'm so intrigued of how their mind works. I don't want to be a lawyer. I don't think I could deal with that. That would be a little too much for me, but I like the ability to talk to these people. Please focus. There we go. I don't know why I thought clicking like that would help. Oh, I just watched Gone Girl. That was insane. Of course, my camera's gonna die, so I will be right back. I'm gonna finish my eyebrows and my bronzer, and I will be back. I just charged my camera. Anyways, back to what I was talking about. I hope you guys don't mind that I'm talking about a serial crime. So I was correct. I looked up John Wayne Gacy's story. I went to the Museum of Death. There's one in LA, and then there's one in New Orleans. I really wish I could have gone to the New Orleans one because I think it's bigger than the one in LA. But it had a lot of John Wayne Gacy stuff. When you first walked in, it had his shoes, it had actual letters, drawings from him, and he went by the name Pogo the Clown. So I'm thinking of doing a series kind of like Bella Fiore, but she talks about unsolved crime, and she just put up one that was a solved crime, which I thought was super interesting. Almost always really, 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 really extremely heartbreaking. So if you're not someone who is used to hearing stories like this or investigating on your own, or if you've not taken classes or watched like Forensic Files where it's true crime, it's really, really hard to hear because she posts pictures. She doesn't post anything gory, but it's really sad, and some people might not have the emotional stability for it, which I don't blame you. You might have some sad occurrence, oh, that's so beautiful, sad occurrence in your life, or someone you know, or something that occurred in your town that makes you nervous, and I don't blame you, because hearing about criminals is something, and especially murders and unsolved murders, is scary. And that's what I was saying earlier, where it's hard because there's so many crimes out there that have never been solved, and it's because these people are so smart. And I'm not saying it to make them sound amazing and magical and special. It's genuinely because they are so smart and they're really conniving, disgusting people. But there are people out there who have judged me, especially at my school, because they think I'm crazy for interviewing inmates or looking up stories or writing an entire 15-page paper on them. First off, it was for school, so I had to do research and had to participate in these events and papers and interviews and stuff, but also it's because there is someone out there for every single kind of job, whether it's a teacher, a janitor, a mortician, a graveyard gardener, whatever it may be. There's someone out there for everything. And I don't think someone should be judged for the profession that they choose. I don't see anything wrong with it because there's people out there who need to be in these jobs. And also it makes me feel like what I'm doing isn't because I'm crazy, it's because I'm passionate on figuring out the cycle. And I'm gonna put on mascara, and every single person who makes a comment about how I do my mascara, this is for you, because they hate it. They say that I should wiggle it, but my eye shape doesn't work with that, and also makeup is fun, and this is my technique, and I'm sorry if it bothers you, just skip ahead a little bit or exit out, but this is my makeup time, and this is my mascara time, and this really aggravates people because I just do a little light brushing, but it's because I don't like going like this. It doesn't really help my makeup any more than the way I do it, where it's brushing kind of like a fan. But let's try it. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that, because I always get it in my eye when I do that. Which, if you do it where you wiggle it, good for you. Please leave tips and tricks below, but if you want to leave hate below, you do you, but it's not going to do anything for the way I do my makeup. It's not going to change it, because I've been doing this since I was like 9 and playing around with makeup. Probably earlier when I would steal my mom's Mary Kay mascara. I put on mascara for my online class because my eyes don't look so squinty and sad. It makes me actually look like I'm paying more attention than I actually might be. Don't tell my professors I said that. I really like this e.l.f. whatever it is. It's called Bear Kiss. It is not bear. Kind of looks wonky. I don't normally go this intense. I normally just have chapstick, but this is my completed look for my online class. Either this or I go way, way, way lighter with makeup, but I always do some sort of eyebrow because my eyebrows are wild. I can never put my hair up for my online class because my forehead is huge. Let me show you. This makes me look like I'm 3 years old. But anyways, I will see you guys next time. Thanks so much for clicking on this video. And until then, enjoy school, work, whatever you have going on, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.